Cat Neville with Face Magazine and PBS. Joins us every Wednesday. Sponsored by Twisted Tree Steakhouse from the Cyberg family at Watson and Lindbergh on Sunset Hills. Congratulations to Twisted Tree on their one-year anniversary. They're going strong. Business is booming thanks to our friend Jimmy Christo. Great food, great atmosphere. Call them 314-394-3366 or twistedtreesteakhouse.com. Good morning, Cat Neville.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Taking time from battering the shores of Puerto Rico to come up and tell us about a couple of restaurants. Get it? Cat 4.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry. Carney's been writing my jokes again. I've been busy.
But
All right. When last you were on the show, you told us
Yes.
about your new PBS show. I know we're not talking about it today, but things going well, right?
Yeah,
all full
all
steam
is
ahead?
well. Absolutely. It's called Tastemakers, and it's going to be a national show, and I'm producing it independently, and we're currently in funding stages, and we're going to start shooting in January, February.
You're currently in production,
Yes.
or so they say.
We're in pre-production.
Pre-production. Yeah.
That's what they say in the TV biz.
They're scouting sites and things like that.
Exactly.
All right, let's get right to it. What do you got for us today?
So I am in mid-production with Feast TV for the 2018 season, which will debut in the spring. And I have a couple of local businesses that I thought we should talk about
Yes.
that I just recently shot with, and they're great. So the first one, do you want grain or do you want spirits? Because they're really kind of both
Let's
connected.
end with spirits.
All right,
Let's
we'll
do
end with
grain.
spirits.
All right. So Hodgson Mill, are you familiar with that name? You
I-
might have
Well,
seen it on
yes.
your grocery store shelves.
Yes.
So this is a company that has its roots in the 19th century in a mill that was, and still is, it's no longer part of the company, but located along the Current River in southern Missouri. And so it's had a number of owners over the years, but now they're located in Effingham, Illinois. It's a family-owned company, and they specialize in stone ground grains and also pastas and like pancake mixes and hot cereals and all that kind of stuff. And so what they are producing are these very kind of health-driven, health-focused, grain-based products that you can use to cook with at home. And it's just, I had a chance yesterday actually to go through their facility. It's huge, and they are nationwide. I mean, they ship to California and to Massachusetts and to Florida and obviously here in Missouri and Illinois, and they're based like an hour and a half east of here.
So it's this world-renowned healthy grain company right here on our nose.
Right here at home, and homegrown.
Right.
And so the owner Bob and his daughter Erin, Erin runs kind of the marketing side, and Bob is the CEO, and he kind of creates the vision for the company. But they have everything from like quinoa and kamut to stone ground whole wheat flours and cornmeal, and it's exciting to see. Like I was there yesterday for their veggie rotini production. So pasta, when it's made, so when you're a small restaurant and you're making pasta, a lot of times you'll hand cut it, but some restaurants do like extrude it. So most pastas are extruded. So they'll use their stone ground flours, and they will make these pastas. They do everything from like rotini to spaghetti, lasagna noodles. So you can buy all that kind of stuff in whatever grocery store you're in. And so they extrude the pasta, and then it goes through these drying ovens, and then it's bagged and boxed, and then it's sent out. It's like you can see the entire process happen when you're there. It's really, really cool.
And everything is done there.
Everything is done there.
Hodgson Mill, how long have they been around for?
Well, it was in just after the Civil War.
Oh my God.
A year or two after the Civil War.
Right.
Okay.
Well, there originally had been a mill on that site that had been burned down during the Civil War, during all the unrest. And so they rebuilt. So, Missouri is known for all of these springs. And so the springs used to run these stone ground mills. So the Missouri was dotted with mills back before these before things became centralized. centralized, where
Right.
towns would have a local mill. You'd go up and you get your flours. And so that's where it had its roots. And back in the 70s, there was a couple that bought the mill, and they had like an antiques business and started also doing these stone ground flours, that aspect of the business just completely took off.
So they're still stone grinding the flour?
Yeah, so it's no longer in production there.
Right.
And so over the years, then that couple sold to the folks who own it now.
Okay.
And the gentleman who owns it now, he is connected to another family that owns a much larger milling
Right.
business. So
All right.
at any rate, you can trace the lineage
Yeah.
all the way back to that original mill.
Hodgson Mill. Look
Yep.
for it at Menino's markets near you. There you go.
Yeah, I
Hodgson
mean
Mill.
they're everywhere.
All right.
Wow.
And
Cool.
it's exciting that it's just a family-run company
Yeah.
right there in Effingham, Illinois.
Great story.
Yeah.
All right. What's number 2?
Number 2, and so one of the big growth aspects for Hodgson Mill actually is grain production or grain milling, for distilleries. And so they don't actually supply to Stumpy Spirits, which is the next spot I want to talk about. So in Columbia, Illinois, the way that you make the base beer, the distiller's beer for any spirit, is you have to use all these different grains. So the team behind Stumpy Spirits, which is in Columbia, Adam and Laura, they are one of the country's few field to bottle distilleries. So Adam grew up on his family's 8th-generation farm. It's a 4,000-acre farm. They do corn and wheat and soybeans and all that kind of good stuff. So he has carved out part of that family farm to supply his distillery that he runs with his wife Laura.
And they look very young.
Oh, they are, yeah. And so he actually had been working at AB. He went to WashU and has I believe he said that he has an entrepreneurship, like an MBA, business degree. And so they are making bourbon, vodka, moonshine. They do some they're also doing some straight up whiskeys, some wheat whiskey. The wheat whiskey is really delicious. It's about to be released. And you can visit the distillery. The address is 1727 Centerville Road. And so you can go there for a tasting. You can buy a t-shirt and some fudge that's made locally with their bourbon and all that kind of stuff. But they are distributed by major brands. And so you can find their products on a number of shelves on the Missouri side as well as on the Illinois side. But the quality of their work is just fantastic. And what's exciting is that they aren't sourcing grain from a mill or from another farmer. They're growing everything themselves. So they grow their own rye, they grow their own wheat, they grow their own corn, and so they oversee the production of everything, and then they brew their own distiller's beer and they distill everything right there on site. And they have created these really great partnerships. So for example, they have this peach vodka, which typically I'm not a fan of the flavored vodkas because a lot of times it's made with like these artificial flavors and it just doesn't taste good.
Right.
Like you don't want to drink that.
Right.
But what they're doing for their peach vodka, they've partnered up with Eckert's to get their peaches. And so in the gin basket of the still, they are putting fresh peaches from Eckert's. So they're flavoring their peach vodka with this fresh fruit. And it is outstanding. It is really, it's kind of dangerous because you could drink it just
I know,
on
that
ice.
stuff is dangerous.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but
now,
be careful.
When you say Columbia, you mean Columbia, Illinois.
I mean, Illinois.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not
So,
Missouri.
it's super close.
Yeah, it's
Just
right
go
here.
across the
Yeah.
JB Bridge
Right.
and you're right there.
You're
So
in
you can
Columbia.
go visit them for a tasting. Kind
Absolutely.
Of see the area
You can
and-
go to John Grayson's house and then go over to Stumpy Spirits distillery.
Our production company, so Chris Reuter, who owns Tybee Studios, he lives in Columbia. So this is like right in his backyard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
can be a
I-
little dangerous.
So if the camera's a little out of focus one day, that's
right.
when you went to Stumpy's Spirits Distillery. That's a great
Exactly.
story.
Yeah.
Two
That
very
is.
good stories. What's going on with FeastCom and CatCom?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm on the road a ton right now for Feast TV, as I said, and I'm doing a lot of fun stuff. We just went to press with the October issue, which is our pizza and beer issue. So look for that. Yeah, look for that.
Good one.
This Friday. And so the Feast team actually produced a lot of this content. So like Nancy Stiles did did a history of pizza in St. Louis. You're going to really love this story. It's fascinating. I mean, back in the 40s, the ads actually told people how to pronounce the word pizza. That's how.
Get out
So
of
forward
here.
it
That's
was.
how new. I mean, right now, pizza is such a ubiquitous thing. I mean, you cannot
Yeah.
imagine American food without pizza. But back then, it was
Right.
like this new Italian delicacy, and this is how you pronounce it. And so she did this really comprehensive and fascinating history.
Pizza? How do you
I
say
know.
it?
Right,
Pizza?
right.
Pizza.
Right, exactly. So that's going to be coming out this Friday.
Feastmagazine.com. Feastmagazine.com. Kat Neville with Feast Magazine publisher and world-renowned national host on PBS. Kat, have a good week.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
848, Big 550, KT.